Hi, this is Jonathan Tiersten from the Perfect House and Sleepaway Camp, and you are listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
Hey, Real Nerds listeners, your favorite host Ryan here to remind you that social media is great. How great is it? There's many ways you can find the Real Nerds on social media. You can download us on iTunes. You can listen to us streaming on Stitcher Radio. You can call us 720-6nerds5. Aw man, our website is so cool. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You want to leave some fan mail? Oh, that's so easy, realnerds@gmail.com. Twitter? We got it, @real_nerds. You can even like us on Facebook. Thank you so much, and hey, enjoy the show. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con 2015 and Jean-Claude Van Damme's Damn Van, debuting Sunday, February 15th at noon at the Alamo Drafthouse. Go to alamodrafthouse.com/Denver to buy your tickets right now. Brad, how much are the tickets online?
They're only $1.
Fucking do it.
Before service fees.
And if you're like, I'm on the fence, here's the fucking trailer so you can see this fucking awesome movie.
I take it you took care of the reporter?
Murder's not a problem. We have a new one. The evidence. 2 floors and a damn van acquired it.
In a couple hours, Mayor Knob is going to blow up Paradise Stadium to build his new mansion.
I'm in the pulpit. You're my sister from the future?
When I learned that Mayor Knob was going to have you murdered to prevent evidence of his corruption from getting out, I defected from the Time Corps to come back and see.
The Sloans and me. Sudden death.
Hand over the file, or I will spill your blood and take it from you.
You? What arm?
It's an H-800. Killer cyborg.
Run for your life!
What's going to happen here?
Justice. Justice happened here.
Your justice is gross.
Yeah, I know.
You are more despicable than I even realized. I love it.
How can somebody so sleazy be in charge of the city? I'll make sure Knob gets what he deserves.
I own this city!
Bon voyage.
I ain't shit. This is Jean-Claude's Damn Van, son. Where they use the city's money to expand their
Get the damn van!
Riding through town in a flower delivery truck.
And you also have the ability to get the Alamo's great service, their great food, the experience of Jean-Claude Van Damme's Damn Van and 5.1 surround sound. You previewed it. How'd it come out?
We learned some stuff about how their sound system works, and we have to make some tweaks to it.
But that's okay. I mean,
you were supposed to just say, it came out awesome and everything will be amazing.
I thought I wanted to drop some knowledge on the audience. And not
okay,
just like,
cool. How's our sound system work?
It's optimized for Hollywood films.
Oh.
The normal private screenings they get are usually kind of, I don't know, businessy. So
you can say shitty.
Yeah, it's set for analog for private screenings. So we have to do some tweaks to make the digital work. So
cool.
We're working on that. But even if that doesn't happen, it sounded fantastic when I was there.
Cool. Very cool.
It was a little out of sync. That's my fault. But
yeah,
it was together. Awesome kind of seeing it happen and going behind the scenes and checking stuff out there.
No, if it's out of sync, does that mean you need to, do you have to go back and do pickups and refilm those shots so that you can get to, record the sound properly?
No, all I do is I move this little bar on on the computer. I move the little track just a little bit to the left.
Oh, all right, that's not so bad.
Yeah, I've seen him edit before. There's a bunch of layers of stuff, and one's sound effects, one's dialogue, and it's very tedious.
Yep. It's a lot like editing the show.
Yep, tedious. If you're wondering what we do, every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world. This week we saw Whiplash. Yeah. I also saw American Sniper.
That was my Whiplash sound.
Nice.
We can just add sound effects, right?
Yeah, but You just finished talking about how frustrating it is to edit the show. Do you really like? I know how long it takes sometimes to go find that sound. Like if I sit here and I'm like, whoosh, whoosh, like that's a whole lot
doesn't
easier.
sound good though.
It is easier, but again, I didn't know you guys were going to make sound effects prior to me saying that
Insert
statement,
sound
so,
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so stay tuned for our review of Whiplash. We also talk about movie news.
And how hard is it? You just go to Raiders of the Lost Ark and grab a whip sound, and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair.
Movie news, what we've been watching. I don't think I have a comic book this week. I haven't really read anything.
I bought some comics, but I
Cool.
haven't read them.
We'll just not do the segment.
Yeah. I guess we'll skip it this week unless we can think of something.
Go to Colorado Quinn's Cards and Comics.
Yeah, here's
Buy some
the comic section. Go to Colorado Quinn's Cards and Comics. Did you see? Have you been there recently? Andrew redid his whole area.
No
It's
shit.
really
no.
nice.
Oh man, I need to get up
He
there.
has like his own office. You know where those display cases are?
Yeah.
He's now like on this raise where a rise.
Yes.
And it's there we go. He's on a rise and there's the display cases are in front of him and he has a chair behind there and behind him he has really
like a throne.
Yes, a throne of comics. Behind him he has hard to find issues and he reorganized it where he has the big titles like Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Harley Quinn are all in one area and then the rest are kind of spread out throughout this comic area.
He
So
needs like a throne from the Game of Thrones, but instead of swords, it's comics.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. That'd be
Oh, that is a good idea.
I did find out Harley Quinn is so popular right now. I have this. I got it when it came out. There's a little 3-issue miniseries with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy called Harley and Ivy.
Mhm.
That's written by Paul Dini, drawn by Bruce Timm. So you know the Batman animated series guys.
Right.
For the first 9 years I've had these comics, I think they're $3.50, whatever the cover price of them were. And now if you go to mycomicshop.com, they are $90 each.
Holy shit!
You can go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, and Andrew has them for $25. So right there, you're saving money. But who knew that those silly issues would be worth so much money?
That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be like that. Those two guys on that. Yeah.
And yeah, I always talk to Andrew, and Andrew should be on the show really soon. He said that those probably were just such a low print run that now Harley Quinn is so arguably more popular than she's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
That everyone's snapping those things up because I even have I started collecting Harley Quinn's I don't know issue 20 of her first run, and so I have them all to the last one. And the last issue of her first run is like a $200 comic because it's so hard to find.
Wow.
So maybe I'll trade those in and get some hard to find Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Say hi to Andrew. He's getting close to being on the show, I promise. I keep on buttering him up. Gave him a handy behind his desk on his throne. I think I really, really softened.
By handy, you mean one of those chairs shaped like a hand?
No.
What?
I took his penis into my
God,
hand and I...
Stop.
Dude, think about the comics, man.
Oh, you're right. Me and Andrew were so selfish.
Can't damage those things.
Obviously, just kidding. Hopefully we can get Andrew on really soon.
Cool.
Yeah, so...
So I dropped my phone and had to buy a new one.
Yeah, the last
And
time
it
you
shattered.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, I'd never cracked a phone before. And so I...
Join the club.
And so I went and this one now it's all Mad Max stuff because I was getting excited about Mad Max. But then I realized like I haven't seen Mad Max in forever, and I don't.
You're getting excited for Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes, yeah, just because I think that trailer was so cool, and I like the idea of Mad Max, and The Road Warrior is a good movie, but I don't think I've ever actually watched Beyond Thunderdome all the way through, and I didn't really like Mad Max the first one that much, so I was like, I need to go back and rewatch them. So I ordered the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray on Amazon it's like a cool, tin case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, and it's literally just a normal Blu-ray inside of a tin case. So it's like
they do that a lot.
It was so disappointing because it looks so awkward on the shelf, like because the spine doesn't say Mad Max. It's just like I took some tin case and put it on the shelf, like completely out of order. Like it's such a shame.
What's he doing?
Your dog is like dragging his
Does he have
butt
worms?
on the.
No, he does that because I
his
read
butt is
that
itchy?
it's because their butthole's itchy and it scratches it.
Oh.
Because he has worms.
No, when he does
Because he has
it,
worms.
when he does that crawl, is that because his dick is itchy? Like,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so weird today. I went and saw American Sniper and it had a bunch of trailers that were for artsy fartsy dramas.
Oh yeah, we had that too because we saw Whiplash.
Yeah, for Whiplash too. And then just before American Sniper started, it was the trailer for Mad Max.
Oh hell yeah!
So it didn't match up with the rest of the trailers at all. But when you, it's a Warner Brothers property, so
yeah. But it's funny to think of that leading into America.
Yeah.
Like, here's this heavy, serious movie. I don't know. We'll wait until you talk about it. But to go into that right after you watch, like, here's just some dudes and assless chaps get sucked up into a sand tornado. Whoa! Like, yeah.
And I've seen the trailer for The Age of Adeline too many times.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
It's Blake Lively, right?
Okay.
And she doesn't age, and Harrison Ford is in it.
She gets in a car accident, and the lightning strikes the car, and she gets zapped into agelessness.
It's so stupid, though.
Does she fall in love with someone?
Yeah, and then
Many men.
Then she
over
runs
time.
away because she doesn't age, and they do. But if I was a dude, I wouldn't want her to go anywhere. I'm like, fuck, man, I'm like 80, and my wife still looks 25 and hot. Don't go anywhere. So she's the selfish one, not the guys. And they have this weird CGI Harrison Ford in it. Actually, looked pretty good, but
yeah.
Is it like the Terminator? Is he?
Yeah.
Does he like steps out of a fire
he
and like
looks
takes
like
his
Harrison
shirt
Ford
off?
from
American Graffiti.
American Graffiti. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe you'll love this movie.
Oh, I mean, it sounds like it's kind of up my alley.
It sounds very
like a little
kitschy.
supernatural and just a little bit sappy.
A little.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm a
yeah.
huge fan of Tuck Everlasting. I'm not really. Do you remember that movie?
I do.
Okay. Ugh, man. What are we doing first?
I don't care. Brad, what do you want to do? He's busy eating his Frosty.
Hell yeah, it's
Let's
delicious.
do some box office stats.
Cool.
This is the box office stats.
American Sniper, number one again with $64 million.
Crazy.
I forget where Mordecai. Did you have it listed?
Yeah, I
forget
do.
where Mordecai ended up.
Number 8 at 4.2.
Ooh, that's not going to make $10 million.
What
And it shouldn't.
Yeah, that movie looks like garbage.
Brad, after we watched it, did you think about it more, or did you just like throw it away?
I think I threw it away.
Because I was, not that I was up all night. Like, is there a way this movie would be good? But I was just thinking,
Was I seeing it wrong?
Yeah, Johnny Depp is in a different movie than everybody else. It felt like he was way over the top, and Gwyneth Paltrow was just a bitch.
Also, her character's mean.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel
don't
like
know.
everyone in that movie knew what they were doing. I just think it's for a different sense of humor.
Yeah, it's not good unless you like mustache humor.
Like I said, it was a weird
is that-
amalgamation of wanting to be raunchy but not going far enough, and then
Yeah.
also being cute and tame.
Yep.
Is mustache humor a euphemism?
No, it's literally
Okay. All right, I was just curious.
like he kept on calling back to because he grew the mustache before we met him.
Okay.
So as soon as he comes in, Gwyneth Paltrow comes in and says,
It would have been a much more interesting movie if he had grown the mustache
Over
during
time.
the.
And, like,
it was
he
just
says,
a movie
"Hey,
where he
what's that-
grows a
What's
mustache.
that ghastly thing on your face? And when she kisses him, she gags. And they
Yeah.
do that, I don't know, 4 times in the movie? 5 times? I don't remember.
That's dumb.
Not good enough.
So if you like jokes about mustaches, that is your movie.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. Yeah. The Boy Next Door was like number 2, but like the fact
that
that
movie only cost $4 million.
really it made 14.
Yeah. Jason Blum strikes again.
He
Interesting.
produced the movie we saw tonight.
He did. Strikes again.
You know who else did? Jason Reitman.
Produced it.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a hit. His last movies have been shit.
That must be why
His last
the
movies have been good. It's
opening
just no
title
one's seen
card
them.
was the up in the air logo.
Yeah.
Hey, just so you know,
Right Away
a
Films.
movie is how good a movie is based on how much money it makes.
No.
It's
Yeah.
it's
False.
science.
So
It's a
Avatar is the best movie of all time?
It's
Absolutely.
a
Say
Hollywood
it.
science
You just,
fact.
I just want to
Followed closely by Titanic.
I want to hear you say Avatar is the greatest movie of all time.
I will never say that.
Okay.
I
All
just
right.
said Avatar, then Titanic, but I will never utter those words out of my mouth.
I'm going to go back in. Can you just say what's the greatest movie of all time?
The greatest movie of all time?
Uh-huh. Oh, no, actually, I just got the audio for it, so don't worry. I'll edit it together later. Never mind.
No, because I did it as a question, so when you add in the audio, it won't make any sense. So I'll answer my own question.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Here is the Blu-rays that are coming out next week.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
All the cool shit. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
101 Dalmatians.
Oh, that's not next week. That's the 10th.
What?
John Wick.
Yeah, I'm torn on that. I might get that movie.
When that comes down to like $8, I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah.
Dracula Untold.
I'll wait till it's streaming on Netflix.
Yeah, I'll wait till you tell me that it wasn't very good. The Best of Me, which is a movie with James Marsden and Michelle
it's funny.
Monaghan.
I was telling my wife, what's the name of the special edition? It's the Tears of Joy edition. It's like the blue band on the top.
Oh yeah, you're right. Tears of Joy edition. Holy shit!
I was reading the review of it on Blu-ray.com, and they said that they have a special feature on there called the storybook ending. So I guess there's this ending where someone dies, and then there's an ending where they live happily ever after. I call that the shitty How I Met Your Mother.
Hey,
alternate ending.
Oh, okay.
Not the real ending. The real ending.
The real ending is great. Porco Rosso is getting a Blu-ray release this week, which is one of the early Studio Ghibli movies. One that I've actually never seen. I still have my brother's DVD copy because it's like one of the few animes he owns.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, "Oh man, you need to see this movie." So he lent it to me. But I'm the worst brother ever, and I still have not watched it. Brad, have you ever seen it? Porco Rosso?
No.
Oh, okay. Ouija. Ouija is coming out this week.
Ouija?
Oh, thank you. All right.
And it's terrifying.
That's not based on the board game, is it?
It is.
The for fun comes in a box. Buy it at Toys R Us.
Whatever, dude. That's really communicating with spirits.
The Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby, which is a Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy movie that I don't know anything about. Dear White People.
You know, that's cool that they make movies like that, but why do they ever have movies that say "Dear Black People"? Because then you'd be labeled as a racist. I mean, seriously, there's a show on TV called Blackish.
That's true.
If you
that I agree with you.
If
with.
you had a
That
show
was-
called Whitish, people would get mad at you.
Yeah.
No.
Dear Black People, or Dear White People, I mean, I was actually pretty interested in seeing. It sounds like it was kind of polarizing, but what's funny is, this is interesting. So on Amazon, you know how they've got the title of the movie, and then underneath that they have like some of the actors in the movie? Well, the first one's Kyle Gallner. Now, let me double check this, but isn't Kyle Gallner the guy who was in Red State? Let me double check.
I think so. Yeah.
Mom was in Red State.
What the fuck? Why are you saying these things about my mom? Yeah, it totally
She's
is.
Republican.
So the main character of that movie, at least based on the trailer, is a black woman. But Kyle Gallner is the first credited person on Amazon. Just saying. Sounds like some racist bullshit. Just gonna pull that up.
Yo, that shit is whack, yo.
Oh, that's racist bullshit. Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, gets a Blu-ray release this week.
Something I'll never see.
Okay.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I saw that a long time ago, but I don't remember it.
Pompoko, which is also an early Studio Ghibli release. ABC's of Death 2.
I love the cover art on that one. That one's cover art's badass.
Isn't it kind of like the original cover art?
No, the original cover art is like a baby sitting in a chair with.
It's an Angel of Death with a baby. Yeah.
That's right. I think I've just seen this before because they used it back when the.
And Brad has said
came
about
out.
a third of the letters are good. So
Yep.
if you want to
a whole third,
see a movie with 8 of the entries that are good.
How many of
33%?
How many of the original one would you say were good? Like half?
The first one was okay.
I don't know if that's how I quantify it.
Yeah, it's hard because
With the first one, you
There's
mean?
so many.
There's so many. There'll be ones because I've only seen the first one, but you'd see one. I don't know if it's Bite or Dog. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And the ones before it, I don't remember. So
Yeah, you're just inundated with new stuff.
I see
And
what you're
after
saying.
26 of them, you just kind of like, what was I watching the first? I don't remember.
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah. I totally see what you're saying. And then the only other one that I've got pulled up is an early Kirk Douglas movie called Lust for Life, which is I think it's a movie about Van Gogh. But it's actually just a weird, trippy looking cover. That's the only reason I picked it out. So, anyway, that's this week. There didn't look like there was a lot. I didn't see any shark movies or I don't even think I saw any porn.
No Girls
on
Gone
the
Wild.
list. On the list. I mean.
RVing to the great outdoors. I don't know.
Girls Gone RVing. It's not even a porn. It's just like it's just video of girls in an RV, like just hanging out, like playing Ouija.
Yep. And Robin Williams is in the foreground, and in the background there's an RV that's teetering on the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
Remember that shitty movie?
Oh no, because I didn't see it because I'm not masochistic.
Well, when you're young and you just want to see a movie with Robin Williams.
I know. So I saw it in the theater. Nothing wrong with that.
Did you really see RV in the theater?
Yeah, probably by myself.
Well, I'm sure no one else would go with you. So,
Right.
yeah.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
It's a throwaway.
I mean, I can't say I've seen Yours, Mine, and Ours with Steve Martin. That's not a great movie either. So,
hey, we've all made mistakes. Creature. This is
absolutely a mistake. We
This
could have
is-
gone to see The Help that week. And,
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know. I didn't see The Help until 2 years later, and I chastised you guys. Like, what the hell? Why?
Chastise us.
Yeah.
You were on my side for that one.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
why don't you guys wait so long to tell me that this movie's good?
Oh my god. Oh my god. You're the worst.
This
Human.
is the real news section where we go into the seedy underworld of Hollywood to uncover its greatest mysteries. And by greatest mysteries, this is the stuff that's on The Hollywood Reporter.
It's real news.
You should have just kept spinning because I have fucking no clue what happened this week. What happened this week?
The new Fantastic Four trailer came out.
Oh shit! Is it cool?
Uh-huh.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Yeah, it reminds me of Interstellar.
It's the Interstellar trailer. Yeah.
There's literally a car driving through a cornfield in it.
What?
Yeah, and then these people getting into space pods. And
okay.
and then there's a voiceover telling us that we need to reach the limits of science.
Okay.
Is
Is Doctor Doom in it?
No.
What? Who's in the movie?
I heard he might be in it, like his back's to the frame. So,
Maybe.
Yeah.
More of it is just establishing the tone of the movie, I think. Which, yeah, I mean,
Is it like gritty and real?
No. It looks superhero to me.
It does to me. It's definitely not cartoonish like the other ones.
Yeah. I wouldn't say gritty, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's just a teaser, so like no one talks in it. It's just the speech.
I mean, there's, I guess, the only thing I don't understand about the movie is how are Sue Storm and Johnny Storm related? One's white, one's black.
Adopted, I'm guessing.
I mean, I thought that when they first did it, but
So they blindsided Johnny Storm.
yeah.
Because in The Blind Side,
Oh,
Sandra Bullock picks up.
Yeah.
And they just rename him. It's like, we don't like your name, Jamal. You're Johnny.
Oh, that's horrible. Holy shit. So is Doctor Doom the actual villain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Victor
They just don't show him in
Dumashev.
Yeah, and they also changed it that he's not a dictator. He's a cyber hacker or something.
Well, he wasn't really a dictator in the
Yeah,
last one either.
well, he's
he
a
was
dictator.
just like a businessman.
I know, but being a dictator in the Marvel comics, he's awesome. He's
Yeah.
cool in comics, but
Not fair, yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying. Like, of course, I mean those movies also made Galactus a cloud and all kinds of other dumb
Yeah.
shit. But well, that's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Kate Mara.
Whatever, I'll see it. What else am I going to see August 7th?
Do they get turned into this like Fantastic Four while in space on a?
Looks like it.
It looks like it.
Oh, okay.
The only,
Oh yeah, here
Looks
they
like
go.
they go up on a mission to test something, and
Yeah.
the rock explodes, kills like 20 other people on the team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, fuck those people. They probably weren't worth much.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I know,
Fuck
they're
them.
just astronauts.
Yeah.
Oh, oh shit! There was a cool shot of like
Are you watching it right now?
the thing. Yeah. Oh, there we go. All right. All right.
I mean, it's all right.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else happened this week.
And this time we put a 4 in a square instead of a circle. Now, so it's different.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's edgier.
Oh, what?
It's edgier.
Whoa.
Oh, 45
okay,
degrees
yeah,
edgier.
I just got to that part with the square 4, and now it's a little weird. Oh, all right.
That was a great joke by me.
It was pretty good.
What else? There's another trailer that came out this week, wasn't there?
I saw Turbo Kid. The trailer for Turbo Kid.
What the shit is Turbo Kid?
Look up Turbo Kid. It's awesome. It's I don't know if it's from the people who did Hobo with a Shotgun, but
Oh my goodness.
they were reposting it pretty heavily, so it might be.
I'm trying to think what else came.
It's set in 1997, post-apocalyptic times.
Good. In the apocalypse of
Yeah.
1997.
The future of 1997.
Yeah.
Like Predator 2. I think
Yep.
Predator 2 takes place in 97.
Terminator Judgment Day took place on
93.
1999.
Yeah, 1999. On my birthday, August 29th, 1999.
Yeah.
I always thought that
You
was
just
really
read the world.
cool. Oh, man. Judgment Day happens on my birthday. And then you're a kid, you grow up and you're like, oh, that's a bad thing when billions of people die.
Did you see that thing where they're making a Lego version of the
Helicarrier?
The helicarrier?
Yeah.
Dude, it's awesome. And when the
More
guy
expensive than an Xbox.
Oh no, yeah, I know. But I'm so tempted. Like I'm really tempted. I was
Is
like,
3,000 pieces
a lot? Yes.
way more than usual?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. 3,000 pieces is a lot.
The
of
one,
pieces.
my Spider-Man I bought that was, I think, $15 had like 27 pieces, I think.
Yeah. 3,000
I'm
pieces.
trying to think
is-
the legitimately scale Star Destroyer they have.
Mhm.
Is that like?
I think that
same-
one's like
5,000 pieces.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm just sort of remembering that from a couple years ago. Oh, Ted 2 came out this
Oh, yeah,
week.
the Ted 2 trailer.
Yeah. Which honestly, I mean, I liked Ted. This trailer does not look like what I would want from Ted 2. Like,
it's really toned down because they really can't show very much.
it's toned down.
I'm surprised.
There's a whole section in the trailer where like
He slips on
Marky Mark
semen.
slips on semen
Yeah,
and then
but
he
you
gets
don't
covered
s-
in
but
semen
you
and then
don't
he's
see
like,
anything. That's
oh,
what I mean.
oh, it's getting into my eyes. Like that.
It's
I
toned.
don't know.
That's toned down because you don't see anything. It's everything happening off camera. So is it worse than you imagine it?
I mean, I appreciate the fact that like I think the easy thing to do would have been, you know, some story where all of a sudden there's somebody else that's like a Ted. It's like a stuffed frog that shows up, and then like that's the new nemesis, or you know, like there's like that's the twist is that now
Well,
he's
maybe
not the
there
only
is.
one
Who knows?
anymore. But I appreciate that that they didn't go that way, but at the same time, like a story about him proving that he's a real human being in like I don't know, it just seemed.
And what happened to Mila Kunis? Like, wasn't that
Yeah.
the whole point of the last movie was keeping her around?
Yeah,
I think she was filming Jupiter Ascending at the time.
God damn it! No, she filmed that 7 years ago when the movie
It's
was
ruined her
supposed to
career
release.
so quickly
Did you hear
that she's been
people
taken
at
out of other
Sundance
movies.
were booing it and stuff?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, but why would you show it at Sundance though?
Yeah.
That's the most
Oh, yeah.
pretentious place to show that movie.
Oh yeah. That's not the right venue. I mean, I don't entirely know what the right venue is for that movie, but we'll see it in a couple weeks, and
we'll
we'll
see
know.
it next week.
Oh, is it next week?
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, good.
There's not really much going on right now. A lot of stuff is filming. They did a really cool mock-up of the new Tyrannosaurus Rex for Jurassic
Indominus
World.
Rex.
Yeah, the Indominus Rex. But they did it in a cool. It's kind of like a theme park.
Mm-hmm.
What would you development? What would you? Why can't I think of the word right now? I'm so stupid sometimes. Proposal. Yeah, like
Like a
it's
concept?
A concept art for a theme park.
Yeah. It seems like from the little bits I've seen, it seems like they just took a T-Rex and a Velociraptor and slapped them into the same thing.
Mhm.
Which okay, cool, like
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know.
There's a shark that eats a great white shark. I
Yeah.
think there's a dinosaur that eats a great white shark in the trailer. I'm down.
Like I'm contented after Jurassic Park 3 that like the movies are no longer about just showing me dinosaurs and reminding me how cool and dangerous they are. At this point, they're just supposed to be like a fun adventure movie. So if they're crossbreeding animals and stuff like that, like all right, fine.
My favorite part in Jurassic Park 3 is when you always know when Spinosaurus is around because of the phone ringing.
Oh God, I hate that movie.
We've been doing this so long. I know jokes that you don't like. Oh, I guess the Ghostbusters reboot casting is probably the biggest news of the week. But
Yeah, but
everybody was kind of already knew who's going to be in it, except for
Right.
The black lady from SNL.
Yeah, yeah, that one to me wasn't very surprising at all. Like, I was like, oh, good. You did that thing that honestly was the most interesting thing anyone has said about Ghostbusters 3 in the like 7 years you've been talking about making this movie. Like, good
Yeah.
job.
But
So-
yes, it means they're getting closer to actually making it. So there's that.
Yeah.
Never
good.
forgive him for missing a chance to cast Emma Stone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she is beautiful, but she's probably doing something better, anyways.
Probably. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. If we were going to have the conversation, I think that Chris Pratt is the wrong choice for Indiana Jones.
Really? Why?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's harsh.
He's a little... I think that he will inject it with a little bit too much, like, wacky. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think of Indiana Jones as a wacky kind of character. Like, he is, like, Star-Lord is not Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah, no.
He's a rough and tumble guy, but...
I'd also say that he's an actor, and he can probably act like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem wacky in the Jurassic World teaser, so...
True.
Seems like he's...
Well, who would you cast as Indiana Jones?
I don't know. I wouldn't.
Himself.
Yeah,
that's the problem, is that I just wouldn't. I would go make another, like, pulp action movie. Like, why does it have to be Indiana Jones? Like,
Name recognition.
Montana Dan.
Sure. Like, yeah, I'm just...
It's name recognition.
I know it is, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, you don't have to, but
I know that they're going to. I'm just... I don't know. I wouldn't be this way, but this is one where you're not going to do... I don't think you're going to do that character justice by, like, rebooting it in some way. So why don't you just go start something new? Like, you know, I think the Mummy, like the first Mummy movie to me, is the closest that anybody else has ever gotten. And
you want
I really
Brendan
like
Fraser
it.
to be Indiana Jones?
It wasn't a bad choice. Like, he's not Indiana Jones, but, like, to be in that kind of a pulp action role, like, at the time, he wasn't that bad.
I'm going to watch Indiana Jones movies again because, I mean, I watch them all the time, but
right.
I'm going to see if I can picture Chris Pratt doing it. I think I already can, but...
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway. I think Indiana Jones is pretty funny anyways.
He is, but it's like a dark, kind of subtle funny in my mind, so...
We are going to die.
We are going to die.
Yeah. You're also talking to a guy who thinks Temple of Doom is the second best indie movie. So,
God damn it, you're so wrong. Oh my God, how do you think that? How can
After
you
Last
possibly
Crusade, right?
think that?
No, actually,
say yes. So it annoys him.
If I could rank the movies, it'd go Crystal Skull, Temple of Doom, Last
Nice.
Crusade,
Perfect.
then Raiders.
You literally just put them in reverse
wait.
order.
Before Raiders, the TV series.
Oh, that's right. And just before Raiders, Young Indiana Jones.
Yeah. That's what it
No,
means.
no,
That's
like
what
the
it means.
movies
That's
though,
nice.
not just the TV. The movies.
Yeah.
The Young Indiana Jones movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, well, I think they were like,
because they had two separate ones. They
double
had the series and then they had movies.
Yeah. I think they were. It was like a
I didn't know that.
yeah,
I thought they were solid
as
episodes.
I remember. Yeah,
Or they like combined Star Trek episodes into one
Maybe
movie.
it might
that's
be
what-
like that because I know that they were, because they were super long. I just watched through them. I mean, at some point while we were doing this show, I think
Actually, and then before
I was
Raiders,
watching
Lego
through
Indiana Jones 2.
the video game.
No, the little cartoons where they don't talk that you could get on Xfinity on demand for a
Oh,
while.
did they make that?
Oh, wait. After that, and then before Raiders, the novelizations, the books.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I have one of those.
And
It's
then the
horrible.
comic books.
And then the comic books.
Oh, actually, the
And then Boondock
the
Saints
LucasArts,
because of Sean Patrick Flannery.
the
From,
LucasArts video games like
yeah.
Fate of Atlantis and stuff.
The one that wasn't too bad was the Staff of the Pharaoh King. It was on the
Staff of Kings.
Staff of Kings.
I don't remember what the N64 one was.
Emperor's Tomb. Emperor's Tomb was actually pretty good.
Or was it on an original Xbox?
Oh, the Infernal Machine.
The
That
Infernal Machine was the first.
N64.
The first like 3D one, yeah. And Desktop Adventures was awesome. Desktop Adventures was like a
So better than
top-down-
Raiders.
All better than Raiders.
I mean, it was better than Crystal Skulls. Yeah. So
that far. This
Yeah,
is the stuff we watched this week.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
James, what'd you watch this week?
not a whole lot.
And it better be good.
Well, actually, there's a few pretty good things. So, one, Justified came back.
Ooh.
I actually
I've seen the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, you should see the next few because they're all really great. So this is sort of the, if you haven't been watching Justified, this is the final season and the season in which sort of our main two characters are finally gonna get
Are they
pitted
doing the
against
annoying
each
thing
other.
where AMC breaks them up a year apart? Where
No,
that's so annoying.
I know, I agree.
Why
It's
they-
it's actually how I fell off of Mad Men. And I fell off of Breaking Bad too.
Isn't
as well.
Mad Men? It's like a year and a half though.
Oh yeah, the Mad Men was horrible.
Because when does it come back?
Dude, I don't even know. That's the thing. I don't remember
April.
anymore. Yeah, like I don't even remember. It's been they so fucked that up that I don't have any clue when that show comes back or like when I'm supposed to be looking for it. But like, I almost would have missed Breaking Bad. Like Breaking Bad, I had to catch up. So like the first few episodes of that last section, I missed and then had to go back and find. So anyway, no, it's on FX, not on AMC. So they're doing it properly. And so this is the season where they're setting up for Boyd and Raylan to really like go at it, and one of them is probably going to end up dead. And the first episode is really solid. There's some awesome moments in that episode, including just some like kind of fun little throwaway scenes that were just really well written and tense and weren't hugely important to the plot of that episode. There's some stuff that they're setting up, but just some cool little scenes in there. So if you have been watching Justified, you should obviously go check this out because it's still one of my favorite things on TV. But if you haven't, then you should go back and watch the
I saw the
first
trailer
5 seasons.
for it, and it wasn't any trailer that had any clips from the show, but it's really cool because it's Raylan and I forget what's the bad guy's name again?
Boyd Crowder, yeah.
They're walking through a house or something that's fallen apart. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, because he set up his dad's old house. He set up as like sort of an outpost right now, so he's living up there because Raylan is about to transfer back to Florida, which is where he is at the beginning of the show, because his wife, who just had his baby, actually his ex-wife, but who just had his baby, has moved back down there. And so he's finally decided after the events of the last season, like, look, I'm going to go back down there and live the rest of my life not in Harlan County because Harlan County is going to probably kill me. And it's just taking too much out of my life. So that's why the show is going to end. But before he does that, he's decided, like, look, I can't in good conscience do this. Like, I can't leave without having put Boyd Crowder behind bars. So he's sticking around simply because he's got a CEO who is going to give him information about Boyd that he thinks can get him in jail. And so there's this ticking clock on it where the sooner he can make that happen, the better. But at the same time, like, there's no guarantee that Raylan actually survives the season. I actually think it would be interesting if he didn't. Like, there's this dark side of me that thinks the show would be perfect if the two of them were dead by the end of the season. Because there is something... The show is built on this idea that there is something very tragic about that county, and if they delivered on that, I think that would be really interesting. It would probably piss my parents off to no end, but for me...
They have to think, too, if you do that with a hero, make sure he goes out cool.
Oh, for sure.
Don't
absolutely.
just kill him for the sake of killing him.
Right. But there is this, pretty much every season they end the season with this song about Harlan County that is titled "You Never Leave Harlan Alive." And there's in there it talks about like, well, at some point we moved away, but eventually we lost some money and moved back to Harlan, and like everybody comes back to that county, and eventually that's where they meet their end. And so I think there is sort of this. There's definitely a genuine threat there. And there's a good scene in the first episode where his old boss even says that to him. It's like, look, you think you're badass, but you could end up being the one dead. And so I think they're doing a good job of setting it up so that you understand, like, look, we're not promising you that this is going to end in a happy way. So it's cool. Definitely very cool. Downton Abbey has, of course, come back, and that's still good. And then I also got a chance to go see The Imitation Game. I don't think I got to talk about this the last time I was on. No, I couldn't have. And it's fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I think that the story that they're telling about how Alan Turing and his team solved that issue and is really fascinating. And for me, I actually didn't have a problem with the way that it ended and sort of the facts that they end up popping up at the end as far as like what happens near the end of his life and these issues about how the British government treated homosexual people during that period.
I just felt like it was like the focus was diverted because it feels like a lot of the movie you're spent trying to solve the Enigma puzzle. Then towards the end, it's like, oh, by the way, the Britain treated homosexuals really poorly.
Well, but I think it's less that and more, in my takeaway from it was they don't invest too as much in how does he solve the puzzle. Like, it doesn't actually. They don't really explain to you how his machine works, or when he has breakthroughs, really what the breakthrough is. Other than the big one, right? When he finally figures out how he can start to decipher it, that's when it's really huge. But what that machine is really doing, they never really show you. So it's a lot of like the work that goes into it, and the fact that he believes so thoroughly that his machine and his idea will solve the problem that he's willing to completely forego all of the traditional ways of solving the issue. Which I think they do a really good job of that, because like at the very beginning they explain to you like how many millions of years it would take for people to solve the one issue or like the one day's mystery, right? And just how daunting the task is. And so while you've got this room of people who they want to do it the way that they think would solve it, he's in the other room like doing what seems like mad science in order to solve the mystery. And so that part's really cool. And then when you get to the end and they sort of reveal that no one was ever able to know what he did. And so for the rest of his life, he didn't get to be treated like a hero the way that like a normal soldier returning from war would have, right? Like he didn't get to explain to people how amazing what he did was. And if he had, some of the things that the government did to him because of who he was might have just sort of been ignored, because it was like, well, you also saved millions of lives. I don't know. I think it drew a pretty even balance. And yeah, you even brought it up when you talked about it, like the scene, which is awesome. The scene when they then have to decide how to use the information they have is like, that's the reason you make the movie. Like that scene alone is just so fascinating and cool, that it's absolutely a movie everybody should check out at some point. Just to know the story, because it's really, really good. And Benedict Cumberbatch is fantastic, of course. So, yeah, I think that's everything I've watched. I also so my roommate, Dan, who's been on the show before, we were just talking last week, and I was talking about Lethal Weapon, and he said, oh, man, I've never seen a Lethal Weapon movie. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I think I like Lethal Weapon more than Die Hard. And at that moment, he was like, cool, we should watch Lethal Weapon. And so we went, and we found out you can get it on Amazon. So we watched Lethal Weapon. And I still think that's true. I really like Lethal Weapon. You watch it now, there's some, like, things that are very, like, kind of corny when you go back to it now.
The final fight scene?
No.
It's
corny
some of the
stuff,
because he says, "Let him fight it out. Let him fight it out."
No,
that's corny.
The final fight scene is one of the most amazing things to ever happen in an action scene in film history. As everything from the moment that Mel Gibson just hits the ground running, like I think I almost want to say barefoot, but he's not. Like shirtless, with like the gun around his waist, and he's gonna chase down a guy in a car. Everything from that moment to the final credits is the coolest shit that has ever happened in an action movie. The fact that movie ends with like a mud wrestling fight between Mel Gibson and Gary Busey on his on somebody's front lawn with like cops around, and like that shot
2 days to retirement.
that shot when Mel Gibson gets Gary Busey's neck like in between his legs, and Mel's like on his back and like pushing up, and it's just the coolest looking fight. That oh man, it's so good. And I genuinely think that those two characters are really interesting. Like I am attached to those guys, but I also have watched that movie like my whole life and grew up on Riggs and Murtaugh, and you know, it's funny going back and watching the first one because I realize what like essential things to those characters aren't even in that movie. Like the fact that you don't learn in the first movie that Riggs can pop his shoulder out like he's a fucking superhero and like escape from any prison by popping out his shoulder. Like things like that in my mind are just essential things about Riggs. Like Riggs is a madman who would, you know, gladly kill himself just because he's so depressed. And also he's got this superpower where he can pop his shoulder out and solve all crime. That to me is essential, but it's not even in that movie. I don't know. I think that movie is awesome. I think it's really, really awesome. And the whole series to me is fantastic. Shane Black is so good. So good.
Hey, Joe Pesci, put me in a movie.
Man, at the end of the fourth one, Joe Pesci's like telling that story about Froggy and how like, you know,
You didn't even acknowledge my great Joe Pesci impression.
It was an amazing. I thought that was Joe Pesci.
Unbelievable.
I didn't know.
I worked on that just now.
I didn't know that you knew Joe Pesci. I don't know how you got him on the show. Anyway,
yeah.
Lethal Weapon's really good. Watch it on Netflix or on Amazon.
I have it on Blu-ray. Maybe I'll watch it this week.
Yeah, there's not a good way to get like a 4-pack.
There is. It just came out.
Really?
Yeah, all 4 films.
Because I was just looking online. The only one that I saw was.
I think it's Best Buy only.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
it was
I
on
think
Amazon, and there was an international version that you could get.
Yeah,
but
I think you get all 4 films, and it's like $17.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look at that.
Brad, what'd you get? Watch this
What?
week.
What I watched this week?
Yeah.
I started watching what?
You're still on the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just bored by my whole conversation about Lethal Weapon.
I was thinking about Best Buy and how they're doing a lot of exclusive
I
Blu-rays
know,
and
you
stuff.
just sent that thing about Munich. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's Munich getting?
Exclusive Blu-ray.
You can only get at Best Buy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
I started watching Star Trek Voyager. Started watching the first season when it came out on
like
UPN
that.
back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
The
And quickly fell
UPN,
off.
fuck.
Yeah.
You didn't watch the whole series?
No.
Oh, I genuinely really like Star Trek Voyager. Like it's a little bit more like I almost want to say corny, but I like those characters.
I mean, I like the characters enough, but it's like I just wrapped watching Next Generation again, and then watching all the bonus features, like the makings of, behind the scenes of what people's opinions of the show were, and like at the time Next Generation was ending, they were also doing pre-production on Generations, the movie, and then continuing. I think Deep Space Nine was getting its third season, and then they were developing for a year down the road Voyager to come out. So all within 2 years, it's just like this massive Star Trek thing.
Yeah.
And so like watching Voyager, I think I'm halfway through second season right now of Voyager, and it's kind of like there hasn't been like an episode that's really grabbed my attention like Next Gen has episodes. Like I haven't got to that episode that's just like iconic yet. And it feels like because it's kind of a continuation, because there's threads in the season 7 of Next Generation, like the Maquis and mostly the Maquis and stuff for DS9 are like happening at the same time. So a lot of those story threads are just continuing over, and hearing the creators talk about like Gene Roddenberry's vision of the show, and it feels like Voyager is very much compromised. Like there's a lot more. Like even though it's dramatically not interesting, but Roddenberry really wanted like all Starfleet people to not have prejudice or like bad attitudes about anything. And Voyager, like obviously because of the Maquis, like there's clearly humans that aren't model citizens, and it's just like a weird, I don't know, compromise of that vision.
Yeah.
But again, it's only Star Trek Next Generation didn't get great until season 3 and 4. So
yeah, it's
I'll let Voyager get a gets legs yet. There's a lot of like storylines around Kess that are just like, oh, she has mental powers, great.
I really hate Kess, and when Kess goes away, the show gets better.
I didn't know she went away.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, well, it's because at some point you get 7 of 9, and
I was reading the trivia, and she just didn't want to act anymore. In general,
yeah?
She wanted to leave Hollywood. So,
it's weird, and it almost feels sleazy to say this because like it's 7 of 9, and 7 of 9 has like this, sort of reputation about her because like, they
wanted to make the show sexier.
They put a busty lady in like a really form-fitting coat. Or
Jerry
jacket.
Ryan. I didn't even know what you're talking about until you said that.
Yeah, you should say, "Oh, Jerry Ryan." But the truth is, I think that character is really interesting, and I think that is the point where the show gets.
She's not in it since the beginning. I swore that's the only advertisements of that I've ever
I
seen.
think she comes in season 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4, somewhere like that. But she, for me, is a huge shift in that show, and there's a lot more Borg, and I think the premise of that show is really cool.
Well, yeah, the idea of getting transported 75 years away from home, and there's no quick way to get back in. But then there's the other weird thing is like, so you're in this unexplored quadrant where people haven't really interacted with humans yet. Every ship they come across, everyone just speaks English.
Well, they've got
to
the
each
universal.
other.
They have the universal translator, which
translates languages they'd never heard before.
I mean, it does in Next Gen, like for the most part. Like, that's the. It's the thing that like
in Next Gen because it's mostly the Alpha Quadrant that I don't know.
Well, but in Next Gen they like meet species they've never met before, and they're able to do it. And in the original series too, like it's just one of those things where you can't have. Like
you can't spend 20 minutes trying to learn language before you can start the story,
right? Because you know what character was one of the most obnoxious characters in Star Trek Enterprise was the translator. Like it's just that's
like the last Star Trek show I have to watch.
Oh God, it's so disappointing.
Again, I watched like the first 5 episodes.
I've seen the movies.
It's funny because it's funny because
we'll call you when we need you.
You were talking about that time where there were 2 Star Trek shows on, and there were these movies that were great. Like, I remember that time, and it was like the golden age of being a Star Trek fan. But when I look back at it now, because Star Trek Voyager, like among my friends who we all watched it at the time, like we all remember it very fondly. But it didn't critically do as well. I mean, it ran for a really long time, but
yeah, they all had 7 seasons.
Yeah, exactly, and it got a really good ending. Like it didn't get canceled like Enterprise did. But I look back at it now, and I think if you had that kind of opportunity today, you wouldn't have told a story like Voyager because you would have wanted to tell a story that grew the universe. And the truth is that like at a point at which you've got Deep Space Nine that's doing so well, and then you've got these movies, like you want to grow, you want to weave all this stuff into itself and create, the way that Marvel has been doing, right? Like create this grander vision that makes people want to watch all the different shows and really feel like they're on top of what's going on. But Voyager, you're taking those characters and sticking them literally so far away that if they could in any way be involved with what's going on in any other like show or movie, it would break the premise of the show. That it's probably a bad move, but I love the idea. It made that show.
I feel like because the writers were so burnt out after Next Gen.
Yeah,
I feel like they just wanted to put them so far away so they wouldn't have that easy out of like making a Klingon episode or a Romulan episode. Like they wanted to have completely original ideas.
Yeah.
So not having stuff to fall back on was
Eric Bana was a Romulan.
And you're right, and I think that's one of the weaknesses of the show at times because it means that they also do some kooky shit. I mean, that show is the only show to have an episode decanonized because it's so horrible.
Wait.
Yeah, you haven't gotten to it yet, but there is an episode of that show that is officially decanonized because it introduces an idea. I'll spoil it a little bit for you, but there is an episode where they break Warp 10, and the consequences of breaking Warp 10 are fucking stupid as shit.
Remember
And-
when Picard and Worf are on the top of this like space station trying to repair it, and they're getting like shot at and stuff?
Quiet you.
Yeah.
I said Picard eventually. And they're fighting in slow motion because they're in space.
So when you get to that episode, you'll know it. But the premise of what they're introducing is so bad that it's officially not the actual consequence, or it's so stupid that in the Star Trek canon that no longer happens. If you could pass warp 10, which you can't, that wouldn't be the result.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I enjoy that show.
Ronald Moore was saying that he's at a point where he's like, now we have the reboots. He feels like the continuity of Star Trek is so complicated now that they should just wipe out and start over as a TV show. I'm just throwing it out there.
You could. I think that if you told an interesting story, I think that Star Trek fans wouldn't really give a shit what canon it's a part of. I mean, they would spend their time trying to figure it out, but like, if you made a new Deep Space Nine and the characters were interesting and the stories were well written, I don't think that the fans out there are gonna are at the end of the day really gonna give a shit which universe it's in. I think you could tell it in the most modern version, right? And I think that would be the smart thing to do, is to basically say that it exists in some later period in the J.J. Abrams run. But I don't know. I don't really care. I think that those fans are so starved for content that and so heavily addicted to the idea that they would take anything as long as it's well written.
Also, Voyager's a really sterile looking ship. The interior is just gray.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah, but I mean, is that really any different than the interior of the Enterprise?
No. Well, in the movies.
In the movies, yes.
But in the show, it's very bright and vibrant, and there's lots of color and yeah.
Well, but eventually it's got deep space, or it's got 7 and 9, and she's got big boobs. So,
I'm back in.
You take some, you lose some.
That's me sucking her boobs.
Oh, I thought that was EU eating corn nuts.
Nope, that's sucking boobs, guys.
Oh, okay.
Is 7 of 9 a real chick, or is she an android?
So she was a Borg, but they basically unplug her and give her back her independent thought.
So she's all good to go.
Well, I don't know. Actually, we never see her naked, so it could be that some of her parts are completely replaced by robots.
No,
I'm just saying. Well, actually, but she is in that form-fitting jumpsuit thing. So
yeah.
If she had weird robot parts,
you'd see it.
Yeah, things would be all bumpy.
No, I love Friends on Blu-ray because it's high definition, and Jennifer Aniston is always nipping out.
Are those Blu-rays?
Her boobs could be robots.
Maybe.
7 of 9 and Deanna Troi should go pick out dresses together because they both
they're
wear
both Star Trek dishy gals.
Skin tight suits that aren't standard Starfleet.
Cool. What else you watch this
uniform.
week, Brad? Before we lose all our listening audience.
Hey, we were talking
just because you're bored doesn't mean the audience is bored.
We were talking about boobs. There are plenty of people still listening.
I think that is it.
Really?
Yeah, sure. Why? Yeah.
You said that knowing, that there's something else you watched.
Well, I know Brad, and I know he's forgetting something.
I know. I was
most likely.
Well, why don't you start talking about your stuff, and
and then he'll interrupt
I'll look at my
you at will.
Netflix queue and see if I selected something else.
Cool. I really don't watch TV too often, but this week I recorded them because I was getting good reviews, and I watched the series of Gallivant.
Oh, my dad was telling me about that.
It's actually pretty funny.
Yeah?
It's a silly musical comedy, and each episode is only 20 minutes long, so it goes by really fast. When I was recording that each episode was an hour, but ABC evidently wanted to burn them out because it was only 4 weeks long, and they aired 2 episodes every Tuesday.
Huh.
So I don't know if it's coming back or not, but it's pretty funny. The first episode starts with, you guys saw the weird trailer that it didn't look like it was real when we were in the movies. And Gallivant is in love with this one girl. The king comes from his castle and he takes her. So Gallivant goes to rescue her, and then when he gets there, after he beats all the guards and stuff, she says, actually, I'm going to stay here because he's rich. And so he becomes despondent and leaves, and he doesn't want to be a hero anymore. And then the rest of the show is him reliving, recapturing, I guess, his heroism.
Interesting.
It's cute, and the music's really catchy. The acting's really funny in it. Weird Al Yankovic is in an episode.
Dude.
So right away, it's good,
Yeah.
It literally took me, I think, 3 hours to get through the whole series.
What are the production values? Is it
It's
look
pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alan Menken did the music and the lyrics, and he did The Little Mermaid and other Disney stuff and Broadway stuff. So the numbers are really catchy. Probably the lead character is okay. I mean, he's good, but he's not that interesting. The guy who plays King John's really good, though. I think that's his name, is King John. Maybe. I know I'm drawing a blank right now, but he's the villain in it, and he's really funny. I also watched a slasher movie called Sorority Row, which is horrible acting.
Is that the one where the killer is using like a tire iron with a different stabby implement on each end?
Yep.
Why?
Because, dude, it's cool. The acting is really bad in it, but there's lots of girls that have nakedness and...
No, but why would that be his weapon?
Well, in the movie, James, these girls I don't understand. They're playing a prank on this guy that this girl pretends she got roofied and she dies, and then they say, oh, let's just dump her body. And so they're going to dump her body, and the guy who thought he killed her with the roofie stabs her through the chest with a tire iron. I don't know why he does it. It doesn't make any sense. It's to set up him killing them later.
Oh, so it is him that kills them later?
No. It's somebody else. It's stupid. Doesn't make any sense.
Oh.
It's the gore effects and the actual horror part is not too bad. It's just the rest of the stuff is
just
really
it's
trite.
all the other shit.
Yeah. There's a worse way to spend 90 minutes. I might have to think hard about how it could be.
Like torturing a person.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that when I go to Best Buy or Tradesmart and they're $3.99 on Blu-ray and it's a horror movie, I'll go, whatever. And I get it, and I guess it's worth $3. I guess. Cool. I rewatched Nonstop. That was another movie that was on sale at Target this week. And
how about that scene where he catches that gun, man?
Dude, so the movie is actually really fun, and I'm getting really into it because I think it came out last February.
Yep. Yes, it did.
And I'm watching it and I say, oh, this movie's pretty badass. Like, Liam Neeson, what's going on with this mystery? And then it gets to the last 10 minutes, like, oh, yeah, this is why this movie just falls on its face.
I don't remember what happens.
Because basically, the whole setup is cool because you're trying to figure out who's killing whom on the plane, and you know what's going on. And Liam Neeson...
He's got that British girl from Downton Abbey on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Liam Neeson doesn't know what's going on either, and
I think it's texting him like, I'm going to kill somebody on this plane. And then people keep
minutes,
showing up dead. Yeah.
It's kind of stupid, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's veterans of the Iraqi war, and they want to take people down to prove that there's a fault in the system with U.S. Marshals on board planes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, lame. But then the plane's going down, and he falls back, and his gun goes in the air, and he grabs it and shoots the dude in the head.
Yeah.
While the plane is like falling out of the air. It's
awesome.
So yeah, there's that.
Fuck yeah.
It's fun.
Oh, Nonstop.
It's not a bad movie until the last part.
You just skip that part.
Yeah. I still had fun watching it. You know, the thing with... I've been watching a lot of Liam Neeson movies for some reason. I got A Walk Among the Tombstones because when I bought my new TV from Best Buy, I got a gift card.
Yeah.
And so I was like, whatever. It's free. So I got A Walk Among the Tombstones. It was actually not too bad. So, so watch Nonstop.
Maybe what you should do is you watch Nonstop, and then when you get to that section, you just immediately put in Air Force One.
Yeah.
And then when Air Force One is over, you switch back and you just watch the scene where Liam Neeson catches a gun in the air, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I should do that.
Where all of a sudden it's revealed like that Liam Neeson was Harrison Ford was the president the whole time.
That'd be awesome. I don't know, his new movie, Runaway, I forget what it's called.
Run All Night.
Yeah.
Did you see that trailer?
Interesting. Yeah, it looks interesting.
Right? Yeah. It looks like Taken, but with that dude.
I rewatched Gone Girl. Blu-ray, by the way, it looks stunning.
That case looks cool. Is the Blu-ray case pretty neat?
Yeah, it's really cool if you want to look at it. There's only one special feature. It's a commentary by David Fincher, but it comes with an amazing Amy book.
Oh, cool.
In fact, the Blu-ray looks so good that I never noticed when I saw it in the theater, but you see Neil Patrick Harris's wiener and Ben Affleck's wiener. So,
oh my goodness.
For all those girls out there,
why
spent
are you
time
watching all the wiener?
We spent time talking about.
Do Blu-rays still have that feature where you can zoom in on frames?
I'm sure it did.
Oh shit! I forgot you used to be able to do that in DVDs. Yeah.
Because here's the crazy thing: is so I'm watching it.
I mean, to zoom in on chicks' boobs, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
right.
So,
Yeah.
So I'm watching it, and spoilers for Gone Girl. She kills Neil Patrick Harris, and she's on top of him, and she gets off him, and he's covered in blood. Yeah, and there's his dong just hanging out. And then Ben Affleck gets into the shower, and there's this moment where he turns towards the camera, and his dick's like...
It bumps the camera lens,
Yeah.
and it breaks the glass a little bit.
But the movie is really good. Watching it again, Ben Affleck is really good in the movie. His performance is really, really good.
Yeah.
It's really subtle.
Uh-huh.
And I think why the movie works really well is you hate each one of them every 20 minutes. You end up hating Amy more because she embellishes every story.
Yeah.
But Ben Affleck
she's
is not
the fucking devil. Yeah.
It's a really fascinating story. I watched Tommy Boy on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
And my tweet that I sent out about Tommy Boy got favorited by David Spade. So
oh wow.
So a celebrity favorited my tweet, and it got us about another 20 followers because of it.
Now
favorited by David Spade's PR team.
Or by his PR team. That's all good.
Did you get to see Chris Farley's penis in this movie?
No, I didn't.
What about David Spade?
No.
God damn it.
The movie's
even
really
on
funny
Blu-ray?
still, though. Yeah, even on Blu-ray. The movie still makes me laugh. It's obviously Farley's best movie. It's just really good. It's silly. And I watched it so many times when I was younger, and I haven't seen it in a long time. And just watching it again brought back great memories. It's just he's one of those guys who just totally went for it in his performance in that movie, Farley. And he does a really good job balancing being a comedic genius and being really tender. And I think the world really lost someone special. Well, he did it to himself, so I guess.
Yeah.
But it's a shame. Because I think he could have been a really big star. Bigger than he is already? I don't know.
I feel like if he'd gotten much bigger, that would have been unhealthy.
Well, I mean, you dick. I mean, just as far as profiles. I also got a tweet favorited by Rebecca Isaacs.
Shit, yeah.
I've had a good week with celebrities.
My goodness.
She drew a picture of Spider-Gwen. I was like, oh my gosh, I love her.
She's so good.
Continuing my Tom Cruise-a-thon, Collateral I watched, which that movie's badass.
I just got that Blu-ray, yeah.
I forgot how great that movie is. I haven't seen that movie in so long. And by the way, the Blu-ray looks amazing. And I think it's because Michael Mann uses digital cameras to shoot.
Yeah.
Before it was, I mean, everybody does it now, but I mean, before it was really cool.
Yeah.
And the way he shoots, because he doesn't glorify gun violence like a lot of people do. And Tom Cruise plays...
Well, in that movie, he doesn't glorify gun violence.
Yeah, I guess.
If you go watch, Public Enemies...
I haven't seen Public Enemies.
Public Enemies looks like a fucking History Channel reenactment. It looks so bad.
It looks like a student film.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Because that one he shot digital... is it even... No, is he shooting it on video?
Ever since Collateral, he's been doing, I don't know, his version of digital is weird.
Yeah, because...
It's...
Because... With
more
Collateral,
of like guerrilla style.
With Collateral, it's gorgeous, but the movement is weird. I can't remember what it is. I've heard it explained once, but with Public Enemies, it really does. There is a scene in that movie where they're getting shot at in this house out in the woods, and I swear it looks like those shitty History Channel reenactments where they're like, this man, they were in a cabin, and then the Sasquatch was scratching at the window, and and then there's just a shaking camera inside of a cabin to make you feel like there's a Sasquatch outside. It looks like that. It looks
like home
so
video.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
he does some sort of filter on him for sure.
But it's the way that it moves.
Yeah.
It's the frame rate that something about it is just.
I don't
off.
think there's a technique of using the raw camera information and then enhancing it, and it looks like what it would look like before you did that.
Yeah.
In the movie, Tom Cruise plays a hitman who hires Jamie Foxx for the night, and it's Jamie Foxx is just taking him to different spots around.
Jamie Foxx is like a taxi driver.
He is a taxi driver. It's taking him different spots around L.A. while Tom Cruise is assassinating people. And the first one goes bad. He shoots a guy. He falls out of the window, falls on Jamie Foxx. His character's name is Max, on his car. And so then he's really stuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
And just the performance of Tom Cruise is so good in the movie. They have these little moments where it's kind of like the old Taxi Cab Confessions on HBO, where they're just talking to each other. And I don't know, it's really well done, and it's a cool thriller. Tom Cruise dies really cool at the end. And just the movie's really well done from top to bottom. And it's cool to see Tom Cruise play something totally different and know that he can pull it off, because he has an intensity anyways when he performs. And when you ratchet up and has no moral code, it's a really fascinating study.
Yeah, that was one of those first ones where he was really like a villain.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it's one of his only movies he's a villain in.
Yeah.
Can't even think of another one. Yeah. And Dan, actually, who was on the show, tweeted that he liked that to me after I tweeted it out, that Collateral's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
The other Tom Cruise movie I saw was Rain Man. I haven't seen that movie in years. I couldn't even... Obviously, the only thing I remembered was definitely not Monday.
Yeah.
The movie is really, really good.
Yep.
And it maybe has my favorite Tom Cruise moment.
Oh.
Is he's driving Dustin Hoffman's character. I forget it. I can't remember his character's name. Gosh, sometimes things escape me. Anyways, they're driving, and his brother Ray really, Ray,
because he's Rain Man. Yeah,
really wants to go to Kmart to
Spoilers.
get his boxers, and he keeps on saying, "We need to go to Kmart." And what's great about Hoffman's performance is he never changes. Where you get frustrated because that's how good it is. Dude, why don't you just answer him? But then you realize it's a disease he has. And Tom Cruise is saying, why? Why does it fucking matter? And he gets out of the convertible and he starts just screaming about how stupid Kmart is. And it's such a great moment. And Tom Cruise plays like the ultimate 80s douchebag in that movie, where he's literally a Lamborghini dealer.
Yeah.
And he needs this money from his rich father to save his Lamborghini dealership.
Oh, man.
He's the biggest yuppie ever in that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And the way he treats his brother
awesome.
at the beginning, and how the movie should not work. It really shouldn't. It's really corny, but for some reason it just gets elevated. I don't know if it's the performances. I think that's what it is, but
it is.
There's a part where they're going at the end. They're talking about if they're taking Ray away from him, and they said, "Can he make a connection?" And the doctor is asking him questions, and he keeps on saying, "Yeah, yeah." And Tom Cruise says, "Well, quit belittling him." And he goes over and he says, "They're going to take me away." And then Dustin Hoffman does this little like head lean on Tom Cruise, and it just it's so great. And he is learning from Tom Cruise's character, and Tom Cruise becomes a better man at the end of the movie. And it's just a great movie. I forgot how great it was.
Yeah.
And maybe I was too young to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I saw this week, and I actually just got done seeing it, was American Sniper. It's obviously... I felt like I had to see it because it was the movie that everybody's talking about right now.
Yeah.
And it's American.
And it is American.
Gotta do it for America.
It is great for America. And here's the thing with this movie is the part where he's in Iraq and doing the tours is really, really good. The other stuff is so bad that I can't even tell you. I don't know why people think it's a great movie. I wouldn't say it's a bad movie.
The stuff like where he's on his phone saying he wants to come home.
Yeah. There's just things like that. So he's like,
his reference to last week's episode.
I want to come home, baby. I want to come home. And he's in the middle of a gunfight. Now, I don't know if that really happened where he's going to call his wife when he's getting surrounded by the Iraqi forces, insurgents, yeah. But he takes time to call his wife and saying he wants to come home, and then he jumps off the roof to run away. But, I mean, the scenes where he's there, and, I mean, we had Steve on the show, and I actually disagree with him. I think the parts where he is deciding whether he's going to kill people when he's a sniper, I think are actually pretty tense. But it's sprinkled in. So the opening of the movie is him on. It's from the trailer. Am I going to shoot this kid or not?
Yeah.
Then it cuts away and it goes to him as a kid, and he's hunting with his dad, and he shoots a deer and kills it. And I'm not joking. This is literally a line from the movie. The dad says, "You're a pretty good shot. Maybe you should do this for a living." Fuck. Yeah. And then it cuts. No, it gets worse. It gets worse. So then the next scene with him is they cut to a dinner scene, and his little brother has a black eye, and they're all sitting there, and his dad says, "There's 3 people in the world. There's sheep, there's wolves, and there's sheepdogs. I don't want any sheeps in my family." And he takes off his belt and puts it on the table like he's going to beat his son because his son got beat up. And then you find out that his other son, so he's telling the story, so the sheep is his younger brother, and then the wolf is the bully that's beating him up. And guess who's a sheepdog who keeps everybody in line? Oh, yeah, it's Chris Kyle, who goes over and beats up the bully. It's... I hate
heavy-handed.
Yes, and I hate to say this, but I'll also spoil this movie for some people.
Right.
So
spoilers for real life.
So yeah. So in the movie, there's an alleged great sniper named Mustafa, and he's picking off Americans left and right. And
Mustafa, like the
Lion King.
the Lion King.
And so the first time he goes out, Chris Kyle just misses him, and he comes home, and while he's at his home, he's watching a video of the Mustafa who videotapes him shooting American soldiers, and he sells it on the black market so people can see what he does. And he's just sitting there watching it, and he says, "That's Mustafa. I know it is." And then his wife will say, "Where are you? You're not at home. You know, your kids don't even know who their father is." Oh, my God. It's just so heavy-handed and so stupid. The dialogue is so...
Jilted.
Really.
Yeah.
And
or stilted, I mean.
Stilted and, what's the word where it's really patriotic? Jingoistic?
Jingoistic. Yeah, jingoistic.
Yeah. And you're just, really, dude? It just feels like, I don't know, they just should have kept it in Iraq. But then it goes, after he kills that kid and the mom, then it goes on like a 10-minute greatest hits of his sniping. So it's literally him just sniping people left and right.
A sniping montage?
Yeah, it's a sniping montage.
This movie's getting boring, guys. We need a sniping montage.
So
we get a montage.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you find out that he's Harrison Ford and he's the president of the United States.
Right.
And the movie just takes off.
So
is it true that the baby is as fake as they say?
Oh, yeah. There's a part where he picks it up, and the baby... This is visual. You can't see it on the podcast, but I'll just demonstrate for you guys. So he picks up the baby, and it's like this. It's completely, like, limp. It looks bad. But it's so hard because the dialogue is so bad. It's so bad when he's at home, and it's so...
It sounds to me like my prediction was right, that the movie is good, that it's like The Hurt Locker, where the movie is good except for those last like 10 seconds when he goes home.
But see, here's the thing.
But in this case, the part where he's at home is like a third of the movie.
It's interspersed with the tours,
right? Yeah.
So, this sounds so bad.
Because at least The Hurt Locker, I can just turn off a little.
I'm going
early
to sound like
and
such
good.
an asshole when I say this, but this film actually plays to not intelligent moviegoers, because they make this Mustafa guy basically a supervillain throughout the movie. There's a part in it where he's eating dinner at an Iraqi place, and he notices that the guy has weapons stashed, and then the wife of the guy makes a phone call, and all of a sudden that Mustafa guy is like oiling up his gun and putting it together like Rambo, and so he runs out and he's like parkouring across all the roofs, and he's picking off people left and right. And then when
is he like jumping from one roof to the other and then like doing a cartwheel and then like pulling out a sniper rifle and shooting somebody from far away?
Basically. And so that sounds dumb. Towards the end of the movie, Chris Kyle feels this obligation to go back because this Mustafa guy's killed a lot of his guys. Cool, I understand that. You know, he's part of their family and they believe in their whatever.
Yeah.
So
he feels an obligation.
So he goes there and he sees that the guy the sniper is actually killing. I mean, it's sad. He's killing UN workers and United States workers who are putting up a safety wall. He's just picking them off. So over a mile away, Chris Kyle takes a risk shot, and he shoots and he kills Mustafa. And there's people when I saw it, were going, yeah, woo! And I said, there you go. That's why this movie is popular.
Fuck.
Is because for some reason it's able to play to people where they built up this super villain, bad guy sniper, which he might have been. I don't know.
Yeah, but nobody like in a Jason Bourne movie when he kills like the crazy badass spy dude in like in a crazy action scene, nobody cheers.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
In this case, it does. It has that very jingoistic weight behind it, where it's like, oh man, Bradley Cooper just killed that guy for America. And
exactly. And see, that's the part where the movie is not bad. It's not great though, and it's really right in the middle, where if they would just cut the heavy-handedness, and I love America, don't get me wrong, but don't be stupid about it, and it's playing to pandering to audiences, and people are eating it up, and so he kills this guy, and that's when he calls his wife. He's like, I'm ready to come home, baby, because he did it. He did his mission. His mission was to kill this guy. So it just feels. Yeah, and then and of course he comes back and he suffers from PTSD. It's really corny, but when he gets better and he's helping veterans, then all of a sudden it flash forwards to the day he was killed, which is really sad, by a Marine he was trying to help.
Mm-hmm.
But before he leaves the house, all his kids are like, "We love you, Daddy," and yeah, exactly. And then he's talking about how he wants to sleep with his wife, and his wife's all like, "Oh, you're so cute," and just too heavy-handed.
Yeah,
they should have played it way more straight. And I haven't read the book. My brother has. I'll ask him about it and see if
But it doesn't matter.
But there's a way to tell the story, is what I'm saying.
Right. Like even if every single thing in the movie is exactly perfect, it doesn't matter if it rings false.
Exactly.
And heavy-handed. It's detrimental to the story.
And
so they would be better off changing it to make it not true anymore.
The most poignant part of that movie
true.
is that when the credits were going, they were showing footage from his funeral progression, and it was people holding American flags and saluting him and stuff. And that's poignant.
Mm-hmm.
Telling his kids, saying, "Oh, I can't wait till you come home, Dad, and play Skylanders with me. You got it, Bubba. I love you so much."
Yeah.
I'm sure he probably says that, but I don't know.
I mean, if you take it. I mean, this is a slightly awkward comparison, but if you take that and compare it to like The Imitation Game, where at no point is it at all like "Go Britain" or anything like that.
Yeah,
like but they are telling a story about here's this guy who did something amazing, and ended up like not having the best life, but was dedicated to it. And here's the story of what he did and how important it really was. Like if they'd done the same thing here, but it's as soon as you start injecting it with that like that, sort of ultra patriotic mentality.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but you can't make the story so stupid. Where when he's in Iraq and they're going in these missions, it's tense. He has to decide if he's going to shoot this kid who picks up a rocket launcher or not. And, you feel that. You're like, no, I hope he doesn't have to kill the kid. But that stuff's interesting to me. But when you go back and everything's so heavy-handed and you're just like, dude, Bradley Cooper's great in it. He really is. I don't know.
So there was an interesting quote where Clint Eastwood basically said something along the lines of the movie actually being like this, the most powerful anti-war statement or something like that. Is there anything about it that feels that way, or is it quite the opposite?
I'd say it's quite the opposite. There's parts in it where his friends die, and you're like, oh, that is sad. But then the next shot is him picking people off as he's sniping.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's anti-war at all. It feels that we were there for no reason. I mean, but he says it's anti-war, but where the scene they show where Chris enlists in the military is a bomb went off in the Middle East after he was out drinking with his brother and riding bucking Broncos, and he says, "Oh, someone's got to make a difference."
Ugh.
I'm not joking. I don't think he says someone's got to make a difference.
Oh, okay.
But it's basically implied that he said it.
Okay, I thought he like looked at the camera and was like, "Someone's got to make a difference."
Well, he does. I'm pretty sure he says they're just killing us. And then he shows up at the next scene is him at the Navy Recruit Center.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It just
Would you rather watch Battlefield? Or sorry, would you rather watch Battleship? I mean,
Yeah, it's more entertaining.
Interesting.
You can see it if you want. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, and not everybody. Obviously, people were clapping when some things happened in the movie when they killed the bad guy. So it works just on some people. I've had people post on Facebook they've never cried so much in a movie. I didn't cry at all. I was like, whatever. Saving Private Ryan's way more heartbreaking.
Right.
But you know what? Hey, he fought for our country, and
here's the thing, and this is what I said back when, because I remember I didn't like Lone Survivor either. Like, your review of this movie is not your review of that man or his life.
Not at all. Not at all. The movie is not told the story's not told very well.
My argument against Lone Survivor was that I thought that those guys probably deserved a better movie than the one that was made for them, and probably that's what's true here too.
Yeah, people love it though. I think I got an A+ cinema score, but I'm actually I think in line with the critics. I think it's like 62% or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's American Sniper. I just basically told you the whole movie. Enjoy. If you ever want to go see it, I'd say rent it.
Yeah.
Or, I found out at Belmar, if you go early, it's only $5. So I almost paid $5 to see it. Not bad.
It was funny when you were talking about Tom Cruise. I remember there was one more thing that I watched, which was I went back and watched Mission Impossible 3.
Nice.
And that movie's awesome.
I love the beginning of that movie
so
much.
Of that movie is fucking amazing.
He's such a great actor.
Yeah. And then that last weekend, it was like spy weekend for me, because then I watched Clear and Present Danger, because I got that on Blu-ray. I haven't seen that in a while, and that movie's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while either.
Yeah, that's a movie where
there was a time when Harrison Ford was so badass.
Oh yeah, and that movie has like an awesome, intense, basically action scene where Harrison Ford is on a computer and another guy is also on a computer, and they're like racing each other. Like one of them is deleting files, and the other one is printing files, and you're like, how is this so amazingly engrossing, And then they print some shit, and he walks down the hallway. He's like, "I got you, motherfucker." Like, that's not what he says, but that's basically what he says.
That'd have been sweet.
That movie's awesome. Oh, it's so good.
This week we went and saw Whiplash. Brad, should people go see Whiplash?
Yes. It was a pretty good movie. Pretty good movie.
James, should people go see Whiplash?
That was so funny. Yeah, I really liked this movie, like a lot. I would almost say I don't think you should miss Whiplash.
I agree with both of you. This is a movie about drumming, and I was literally on the edge of my seat going, what's going to happen
I know, right?
What's going to happen next? Is he going to get a cymbal thrown at him?
Oh, my God, they respect each other.
It sounds stupid, but you're totally right.
No, it's so good. Oh, okay, here's the trailer.
This place is nice.
I really like the music that they play. Bob Ellis on the drums. I'm part of Schaefer's Top Jazz Orchestra. It's the best music school in the country.
The key is to just relax. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about what the other guys are thinking. You're here for a reason. Have fun. 5, 6, and.
I want to be great.
And you're not.
We got Buddy Rich here. Little trouble there. You're rushing. Here we go. 5, 6, and. Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
If you deliberately sabotage my band, I will gut you like a pig.
Oh, my dear God. Are you one of those single-tier people?
You are a worthless pansy ass who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a 9-year-old girl.
So how's it going with the studio band?
Good. Yeah, I think he likes me more now.
I push people beyond what's expected of them. I believe that is an absolute necessity.
I want to be one of the greats. And because I'm doing that, it's going to take up more of my time. And this is why I don't think that we should be together.
I would never let him put my son through hell. Why would you let him get away with what he did to you?
There are no 2 words in the English language more harmful than good job.
It is. The movie is. It's a movie.
It's fucking cool, man.
And who knew? It's a movie about a drummer who is in a very prestigious school.
Yes.
And in the school, the studio, the head music conductor guy, played by J.K. Simmons, runs a really tight ship, and he's in the lower level. And
he's like a first year. He's like a freshman.
Yeah.
Right? And then he
that
has
first
this
scene,
run
dude,
in.
is so great. He's like playing the drums, and he says, "What does J.K. Simmons say when he first walks in?"
Did I tell you to stop?
Did I tell you to stop?
Yeah. And so then he starts playing again, and he's like, "Did I tell you to start playing again?"
Is that your response
like,
to?
I asked you why you stopped, and you just started like that's not an answer.
Yeah.
And it's so, and then he disappears, and then he comes back for his jacket, and like it sets this very unsettling beginning where you're like, I don't understand.
Yeah, see what's great about it, and dude, who knew J.K. Simmons was so ripped?
Yeah,
like a 65-year-old
when he like
dude
takes off his shirt, you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah, he means business. But what's great about it too is, so eventually he comes into his classroom, and he picks Miles Teller's character to be the understudy for the main drum guy. And he comes in, he says, "Oh, when we come back, what's his character's name? Fuck,
Andrew.
He says, what was his last name? Because he calls him by his last name. Whatever.
Neiman.
Yeah.
I think.
Say, Neiman, when we come back, you're going to be on drums. And after he just, totally chewed that dude's ass out for being out of tune, and he wasn't out of tune, he says, he wasn't out of tune, it was you, but since he didn't know, that's why I kicked him out. Yeah. And he has that, like, you fucking piece of fat shit. And then he comes out, and he's really nice to Andy, and he says, "Oh,
yeah, just have some fun.
Yeah, just have some fun.
Don't worry about it."
And then he goes in there. He says, "No, you're not following me." And he does it like 3 or 4 times.
That's not my time.
Yeah,
it's not my time.
And then he starts smacking him. Oh my gosh! I'm like, oh, this is so awesome and so intense. And the movie is fucking intense about playing drums in a jazz band.
Yeah. Well, and then like you start off and you like Andrew, you feel like, okay, here he is, like he's getting involved in this thing, like is he going to really invest all of it, or is he going to be good enough to do all of this? And then there's this girl that he meets, Nicole, and like he's starting that whole thing, and then there's this turn where he starts to get darker, and you've got that scene where he's at dinner with the like some of his family, and
that's a great scene,
and they're like,
he starts to get an ego about.
Yeah, like at first you're totally on his side in that scene, right? Where like the football player guys are like getting some attention or whatever, and like nobody really understands what he does, so he can talk about being like the drummer on the best jazz band in the country or probably the world, and nobody really cares, and they sort of talk down to him, so he like goes off, and he's got this wit to him that makes him just ruthless. It's actually very similar to J.K. Simmons' character, honestly. Only J.K. Simmons like swears a lot and just calls people cocksucker, whereas he says really witty things like 4 words that you'll never hear from the NFL, and things like that. And then he breaks up with his girlfriend, and the way he does it is like, like it starts to get malicious. And so you almost like start to turn against him, but then like as you watch him try so hard to stay with it and keep doing what he's got to do, to the point at which like there's that he gets hit by that car, and you're just like, holy shit, like you've clearly gone too far, and you're not actually getting out of this what you think you want to get, and so you're kind of relieved when he ends up getting kicked out, because you're like, oh, okay. So then they've got to like the whole movie twists at that point, because now he's not the drummer anymore, and you're like, well, okay, now what? And so it's that walking him back to that actual ending is really cool. It's this thing that back when I was studying writing, you always talked about like the best endings were the ones where you didn't see them coming, but once it happened, it felt inevitable. And so, man, when he's sitting there and he's just been humiliated by J.K. Simmons' character, and he goes back out there, and you're like, I don't know what's gonna. He's gonna play the other songs with them and do fine. And then as soon as J.K. Simmons starts to talk and he hits those drums and starts to go, and you're like, oh shit, that's how this happened. Oh, this is so cool. And then that sequence is just riveting. Like, it's just, 15 minutes of him playing drums?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most riveting film. It's better than most action scenes.
Yep.
You're just sitting there on the edge of your seat like, holy shit, this is cool. Oh, man. It's so good. Yeah. Sorry.
It was Brad.
What?
I was waiting for you to see you've.
Oh, I was agreeing with him, and I mean, that's pretty much what the movie is. Like, it's just this kid who starts out just mediocre. Like, he has ambition, and then as he's getting punished or abused by this teacher, who, J.K. Simmons, I don't see an actor. I see like a character when that guy acts.
Oh yeah,
he's amazing. But yeah, the abuse that he puts on him like turns this kid into wanting to be the greatest, and then after he rats him out and then has to go like he just like I'll poke my head in on this jazz club and see what he's up to, and then he gets stuck at the door and has to have a conversation.
That's a great scene though, with the conversation with him, because
explaining like why he's so mean.
Yeah, why he's so mean, and I don't want to say you sympathize, because it's pretty bad, but you understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean anything by it except to make you better, and either you can do it or you can't.
And he loves the music so much that he doesn't want mediocrity.
Yeah, and
in the world.
The great scene too where he says, "Okay, we're going to try, the end. We're going to try a new piece."
Yeah.
And he's trying to do it, and he says, or before he says, "I know it was you. You think I'm fucking stupid."
That's such a great twist.
Yeah,
so good.
And then he says, "So we're going to do
the movie's just going to end like, oh, he's going to play well, and they'll happily ever after." And he's like, "No, fuck you."
Yeah, he plays bad.
Orchestrate this whole thing to fuck you over.
I love when he's playing, and he just looks at J.K. Simmons and just mouths, "Fuck you."
Yeah,
because
and he does so bad, and he gets up to leave, and his dad's meeting him there, and he hugs his dad. And there's that great moment where he realizes this is the symbol
test.
being thrown at Charlie Parker moment. It's I got to go out there, and he sits down and he just kicks ass, and it's better directed than an action movie by Clint Eastwood, because when you're watching it and you feel the drums, you feel the pain he's in, where when they're doing that session where he's trying to do Caravan, and he's like, "You're not on my time," and they keep on switching people, and they're doing it till 2 a.m, and they can't even do it, and it's amazing.
Yeah, get up, go take a nap.
Yeah.
Because we're going to take a shit, because we're going to be here for hours. Yeah. Oh man, it's so good.
Sorry guys, I apologize. It really,
And that whole scene, like the way he uses like some of the little the swipes back and forth between J.K.
I was going to
Simmons
say
and
kudos
Miles
to
Teller.
the shot choices and editing decisions of creating that.
Yeah. And some of the edits are on beats and stuff like that. Like it ramps up the music in a cool.
And the variety of the choice of where to put the camera and frame things was just a lot of variety for such a simple idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't have car chases.
Yeah, and that's a tribute to those guys, because you have to do it to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Because you just can't have them there just
all the close-ups of instrument parts and things, and
and even
slow motion.
Even when they're not playing music, I think that that some of the direction there, or just some of the shots, are really well set up. There are times when he'll introduce a section and he'll do those power shots where you get the camera low and you make Miles Teller feel like he's really on top of it and he's going to do fine. And then by the end of the scene, you can just, with the way that he's filming it, you understand how crushed that character is. It's just
it's one of those movies that I wish came out in Colorado before the end of the year.
Yeah,
because it definitely probably made my top 10. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
So is Miles Teller an advanced drummer now, or is that
I know.
I read that
really
he
good.
practiced his ass off to get that good.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine a lot of the really fast stuff is just an insert cut of a super awesome drummer, probably, but.
But I mean, some of those shots, it looks like he's playing music, and I'm sure there's still there's a track over it to make it sound a little bit better. But it looks. I mean, there's definitely times where he hits a cymbal at the same time that I hear a cymbal.
Mm-hmm. I think I read an interview where he said he didn't want to fake it, so he went and played drums for a really long time before the movie was made.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
But yeah, the movie's great. It
Yeah.
really is. I hope J.K. Simmons wins the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. And I do know that he's the clear front runner for it. So
Yeah, I mean,
Has he won before?
It's his first nomination.
First nomination?
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know how anybody else would. Like, this is one where I've said before that a lot of times with the Oscars, it's like the award goes not to the best, but to the most. You know, it's most visual effects, it's most production, it's most acting. This is one where it would be both, right? Like, this is a character who is very over the top, grabs your attention and doesn't let go of it, but is also subtle.
Yeah, because there's that part where he comes in, and after his student dies, and he plays that CD, and he's like, he was just a great musician, I wanted you to hear that. And you like him at that point, and then he goes into the tirade about how the drums are horrible. And
Right. But even in some of those sequences where he's being a complete asshole, like, there is something deeper to, like, he's not just an asshole. There's a little bit more there. And like, there's that scene where Andrew loses like the first chair or something, and he goes into Fletcher's office, and just the way that that's played, you know, without even being told anything, you know more is going on. You know, like, the way he performs that scene is like, you're reading a lot into that character that you never even really understand fully, but he makes it feel fleshed out and real in a way that a lot of those bombastic sort of scene chewing characters you don't, especially there at the end, right? Like, where those two guys are basically having an argument, only you never hear, there's no dialogue at all. There's just glances back and forth at each other, and like J.K. Simmons's glances get less
and, you know,
and
mouthing,
less.
what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, right, yeah. There's so much more to it than just a guy who's yelling at some kid.
I agree.
Totally deserved.
So yeah, I should definitely go see Whiplash. Man, it's a movie about drums. Next week we're seeing Jupiter Ascending.
Yep. Is it like 4 hours long?
I hope not.
God damn it! I'm sure it is. It's got to be, right? It's a Wachowski's movie where like
it's so bizarre.
We should see Kingsman and then David Cross's new movie.
Is Kingsman next week too?
No, it's a
there's a sneak preview on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
What's David Cross's new movie?
It's called Hits. It's about this like backwater girl. She wants to be on The Voice, and then her dad goes to a town hall meeting and like goes on this tirade, and his tirade ends up going viral. So she's super jealous of her dad. Yeah.
Sounds like a David Cross.
Do you want the good news or the bad
it's
news?
It's an indictment of.
It's 3 hours long.
The good news is it is only 2 hours and 7 minutes long.
Ooh.
The bad news is it is 2 hours and 7 minutes long.
Yeah, The Kingsman's getting good reviews though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Until next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find them on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.